So we're so excited tonight to have, we're celebrating Filipino-American History Month at the library. We're doing it virtually, we're doing it in person. We have a lot of events coming up, and we want to thank you all for being here tonight. We also want to acknowledge that we occupy the unceded and ancestral home of the Ramaytush Ohlone people, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We recognize that we benefit from living and working on their traditional homeland as uninvited guests. We affirm their sovereign rights as First Peoples and wish to pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community. And that link that I put in the chat box has links to First Nations and First Persons reading list and resource list. Some great links in there. And if you know what native land you're joining us from, you can put that in the chat box as well. All right, just some quick library news. We're celebrating Viva, which is Latinx Heritage Month, along with Filipino-American History Month. We have an in-person author talk on Tuesday, the 12th, 6 p.m. in our lower level at the main library. We're actually having people, we're gathering. We're gonna do it nice and safe and to be spaced out, so come on down. On Saturday, we have a author extravaganza. 9 Filipino-American authors, and they will be reading from their latest works. It is gonna be too hot off the press, is what I'm now calling it. On October 13th, we have Diosa Blooms, who are a sister-owned flower shop, and they will be demonstrating a shrimp chip. Okay, very exciting. And then another in-person event for Filipino-American History Month. We'll be doing a book launch of Manong Joaquin's book. And that will be again in our lower level. We're gonna be very safe. We're gonna be spaced out. Unfortunately, no food can be served. So please plan to eat out before you come or after you come. All right, and San Francisco Public Library does celebrate a bi-monthly read, and we are reading The Undocumented Americans by Carla Cornejo Villavicencio, who will be in the virtual library October 26th, talking to Jonathan Blitzer. And then you're definitely not gonna wanna miss this. During our Filipino-American History Month, artists that celebrate highlight their work. And this time around, we've chosen Lydia Ortiz, whose amazing work you can see right there. And hopefully you'll see it on our website and all over our libraries. And she will be doing an artist spotlight on October 28th. Her work is stunning, and I will put her Instagram in the chat box if you don't know it. Gorgeous, you should follow her. All right, I think this is all of the library news and announcements I'm going to make. We'll put some more stuff in the chat, as I said. And again, we thank you all for being here. And today we have ballet home cooking. And we are partnering with SOMCAN and Ballet Creative to present Chef Tita Pearl Parmalee, who is the co-founder of the Philippine Food Movement. And her beautiful tag there, as you'll see soon, Philippine food without borders. I love it. SOMCAN, the South of Market Community Action Network, aims to improve the overall health and well-being of the Filipino-American community by addressing health disparities. And Ballet Creative is a Filipino-American arts hub and cultural center, and they are both doing amazing work and getting it out there and just like revitalizing all, South of Market. Revitalizing is a weird word, I think, but just bringing life and bringing health and bringing community and just thriving in creating and encouraging other people to be thriving. And I love that. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Chef Tita.
Tita Pearl.
Tita Pearl.
Yes,
Take it away.
thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Welcome, and I want to thank everybody for joining me in my favorite spot, the kitchen. This is where I'm home. This is where I feel comfortable. This is the center of any Filipino home, the kitchen. And for those of you that doesn't know, balay means home. So it's basically home cooking. And that's what I'm doing today, sharing you home cooking. Okay. Our ingredients are, I think it's posted, but basically it's simple ingredients that you could make your own. I normally, since I started trying to be healthy, I found this vegetable-based bouillon. Instead of using chicken or meat bouillon, this vegetable bouillon is my main ingredient for this recipe today. We also have sauce, of course, and to save time, I have garlic and pepper seasoning. So if you're doing an appetizer, since it's small, you don't really want to chop fresh garlic, because sometimes it goes all together and sometimes you have like a pull of garlic. So your appetizers tend to taste like garlicky. With a garlic powder, it can go all over your sauce. Okay, to start with, I normally make annatto oil. To make annatto oil, all you need is any oil you want and annatto powder. To do that, you have to have a heated pan and just pour your oil, just a little bit at a time. You can always add later on. There's nothing worse than a pool of oil and you cannot take it back. You can always add, but it's hard to take anything back. So just heat your oil and just put about 2 teaspoons of annatto. This will give you annatto oil, and kind of swirl it around till it's melted. It will take about 2 to 3 minutes. So just kind of keep stirring it, because otherwise the lumps will be created. So keep stirring it. If you want to look at it, so it looks like this. So it's kind of a yellowish color. So once it's done, few minutes, just put some onions. I already chopped the onions. I like using sweet onions on this recipe. The recipe I'm making is called panara. Panara is like a cousin, close cousin to our lumpia Shanghai, and a distant cousin to taquitos. Okay, so wait till it's a little bit translucent, kind of translucent. For this one, we're using upo. If someone can tell me what's the English name for upo, type it in. But I just know it as upo, the cheapest vegetable in the Philippines. Yes, Christy got it. Oh, thank you. How they come up with that name, I don't know, because it's not a gourd. Oh, it is kind of a mini gourd. This is what upo looks like. Okay, it grows fast. It grows in any Filipino's home. It grows so fast. So what I do is actually, Cynthia is spreading it. You just take the first layer and then kind of use your, shred it. Instead of cutting it and chopping it, shredding it is better. And it looks like this. And you can add some carrots if you like. You don't have to, just make it the upo, but I like to kind of add color. It's always good to have colors in your food. I'm sorry? The vegetable shortening, I kind of want to have the annatto oil kind of coat the vegetable before I add my vegetable shortening. The annatto oil will give the nuttiness and the more color to your vegetable. See how gorgeous it is with the annatto oil and a little bit of carrots. Few minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, then you can add your vegetable shortening. I got this at First Street, which is Smart and Final. It's the best vegetable bouillon I've had. I've tried a lot. And it's also good for lugaw, for even your adobo. And I got a big bottle. Just half a teaspoon is good enough. If you notice, I don't put salt. I normally put the salt at the end because the chicken bouillon has a built-in salt, and you don't want to oversalt it. It just takes a few minutes. With panara, you can add meat with it, but this is strictly vegan. And you can use papaya. You can use singkamas, which is what they call it, jicama. You can use I've used the frozen peas and carrots, and I just sauteed it and made it into a panara. It works. It's almost done. I don't measure. For me, I kind of eyeball it. Normally, it's about 1 cup to 1/4 cup of onions. It's kind of, and then if you notice, which nobody have noticed, I chop my onions and I julienne my vegetable. The reason for that is I don't want to clump the onions. So when you're wrapping it, it's kind of separated. Okay, so this is done. And then we'll go taste it and see if it needed more salt. Because as I say, chicken bouillon has salt. It has everything in it, basically. It has all the different kind of vegetable. It has salt, it has pepper, it has everything. So before I do that, I kind of taste it. So you want your upo to kind of soft, but yet there's crunchiness still. And my secret ingredients for something like this, or whenever I cook, is a little sugar. So it's kind of, I don't know why, but I always add sugar on everything I do, even my adobo. It kind of have a little sweetness, with more Filipino-like. So this is done. Just set it aside. You don't want to wrap it when it's hot like this. But we did some earlier. I just wanted to show you how to do it. Now this is done, and we're gonna get another pot, and we'll be doing a different vegetable. This one, I'm not gonna add annatto oil. You wanna make it different. You don't wanna add annatto oil on everything. So this one is just basically oil. And wait a few minutes, and we'll add, so just a little bit of onion. It's up to you. Some people like a whole bunch of onion, sorry. Some people just want small like me. I kind of just enough oil. And this one, I use green jackfruit. It's also good for panara, and it's very healthy. It's crunchy. And with this, I don't put the chicken bouillon because I want to make it kind of a little sour. So I will add some vinegar. When you make your panara, you can make it sweet, you can make it spicy, you can make it adobo flavor, menudo flavor, whatever you like. It's your own. You can make it your own. That's the beauty of this. By adding different vegetables, the texture of your panara changes. So this is green jackfruit with just onion, and I put a little bit of vinegar. So this will have a vinegary, oniony kind of texture to it. This is, you can buy green jackfruit, or you can buy canned one. If you buy the canned one, you don't need to cook it. Just spice it with your vinegar, salt, pepper. So So I'll go taste this a little bit again and see. It's that vinegar taste, like Datu Puti is still my go-to vinegar. It's sukang maasim. You can have the spice vinegar, you can have sukang maasim, you can have apple cider, your choice. And this is done too. I'll transfer this to a different bowl. So now we have two different flavors of panara. With panara, when my kids were small, this is where I hide their vegetables. I can add some okra, kind of finely chopped. You can add spinach, and your kids will never know the difference. So that's a secret for you people that has children there. Put the vegetable that they don't like in your panara. and they'll be like, what do you call that? Popeye, spinach, right? This is done, so we now have two flavors. And then I think the other one is already warm up, so I'm gonna show you how to wrap it. I like this chopping board that's kind of, flimsy and light. Normally I use the wonton wrapper, but I found out that sticker wrapper also works, and it has a different texture. It's so when you're doing different flavor panara, I suggest you do different wrappers. So we have two. One would be round and one would be square, just to tell the difference which is which. You don't want that surprise that somebody doesn't eat shrimp and then they had shrimp in your pot sticker. Yeah, so make different sizes and different. Okay, so where is the wrapper? Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important. See, I'm so excited to share this with you. I forgot. Most people use egg wash to seal the wrapper. I don't. I use what we call in the Philippines gao-gao. It's cornstarch mixed with water. Does anybody know what we use gao-gao for in elementary? That's our glue, because it's cheaper than, we can't afford glue, so we use gao-gao as glue, and it works for food. So it's just basically cornstarch and water, and you kind of warm the water, make sure it's not boiling, but close to boiling, and add a few teaspoons of cornstarch. It will look like this. It's kind of white, and you can, at a touch, you'll see the stickiness of the gao-gao. So that's the way we use the gao. That's what I use for sealing, the old-fashioned way. Let's put this away so you can see how we wrap it. And let me turn this off. I don't want to get burned and waste electricity as well. So I have two of them, square and round. So let's put, we did the upo first, so we'll put the upo in the square. It's kind of warm here, so it's sticking together. There you go. It says Shanghai style wrapper. There's a lot of different kinds. All of them are okay. You can even use lumpia wrapper. Okay. So the square is here. First step is put gao-gao just a little bit on your finger around the square. if you're cooking or baking, gao is the best filler there is because it has no flavor and it sticks. Okay. Okay. So just get a, like a teaspoon or something, whatever you like. You can make it small or big or something. Just put it in the middle like that. Kind of spread it around, spread or flatten it. Once done, you take one corner and bring it to the other end and then press on the side. I kind of like to flatten this as well because I don't want that bulkiness. And once you do this, you can freeze this. You can fry it. Air fryer works here. Baking somehow doesn't. It doesn't leave the crispiness, but the frying is still the best for me. So this is our upo panara. Okay, we made a few of them back here. And the round one is a little bit different. It's more fun to do the pot sticker wrap, we call it, okay? Nice and round. But it's the same thing. Put the gao, but put it around the whole pot sticker right there. There. And then you put a little bit of the jackfruit here, put it in the center, like so, and one run away. So put it back there, bring the other end to meet like that. So it's kind of a different shape. And if you have another panara or another flavor panara, what I suggest you do is, I don't know, pork. Kind of fold it to make a different shape, so you'll know it's a different panara. So you have one with flowery corners or one with just plain, or you can even get a fork and push it down here, and that would be a different shape. That's it. That's to tell the different panaras you have in your plate. See, you have two like that, and these are all ready for frying. Okay. Does anybody have a question? Okay. I'm so happy to be here at Malay Creative. Vegan cooking doesn't mean it's healthy. Vegan and healthy could be together, but vegan could be just plant-based. It doesn't mean it's healthy because it depends what you put in it. If you add a lot of butter, then it's not healthy anymore. But if you make it a vegan with like kind of canola oil or just boiling the vegetable, that could be healthy for you. And as I say, you can put any vegetable you like. Even my most hated ampalaya, which is like so bitter, I made it into panara and I can actually eat it. So that's just something that you can introduce to your family to be a little healthier. Okay, and for those of you that doesn't know Filipino food movement, the reason we started Filipino food movement is our frustration that Filipino food is not out there. I think it's because we always compete with each other. It's like so many times I hear my Lola's adobo is better than yours. So, and it's like, it's frustrating. I keep telling the people, we have 7,000 islands. That means for me, 7,000 different types of adobo. So, but some islands are not occupied. So I'll go a different route. We have 108 dialects. That means it's 108 different types of adobo. So we don't have to compete. We can, like this panara I'm making is Visayan. So they have a different take on adobo, as the Bicol has a different take on adobo. Let's just be proud and innovate and make everyone happy. introduce our food. For me, I've always been asked to describe what Filipino food is. It's kind of hard for me to describe it, but with Filipino food movement, we found a description for Filipino food that I'd like to share with you, and you can share it to the world. It's dip, D-I-P, not dope. Yeah, it could be dope too. Filipino food is dope. No, it's so dope, yes. But dip, D is diverse. I've never seen any food that's so diverse, more diverse than Filipino food. I think it's because we're invaded by different culture. So the Hispanic left their culture with us, and it shows in our food. The Japanese, the Chinese, and not only that, Filipinos are explorer and traveler. If they go somewhere, they copy and bring home the spices of different countries. And so the Filipino food evolved. It's actually one of the best cuisine for me. I'm not being biased, but I've been around, I've partnered with people. And whenever I present Filipino food that way, it's like theirs. I can take adobo to Mexico and make it a Mexican adobo. I can take it to France and put some sauce, fancy poo-poo sauce, and it's a French adobo. So we should be proud of that. Our food can go to different countries. Just like my tagline says, it has no border. You can make it your own. And that's what I is, inclusive. How many times do you come to a Filipino home or just coworker bringing their baon and they said, come eat. We include everybody. And that means taking on their likes, their dislikes, their spices. We kind of take care of our guests. So we include them in our activity, in our food. We think about them when we prepare our food. That's why Filipino chefs are sought after in cruise ships, because they have not only the best smile, the best service, and they make you feel like home. And they're all good in the kitchen. Everybody, all Filipinos mostly can cook. And key, for me, it's the most important, it's personal. You can make any recipe your own. Any Filipino recipe, you can make your own. Put your stamp on it. Make it your own, and then share it to the world. So only if we're proud of our food, the rest of the world will accept it too. So I'm so passionate about our food that I go all over the world and kind of invent, research, kind of take an ingredient that's not familiar to me. The most challenging recipe I did is uso buco adobo. So uso buco is an Italian recipe. Making this into adobo was a challenge, but they all loved it. So I made uso buco adobo, and the Italians kind of love it. So, huh?
Diverse was
Diverse, I is inclusive and personal, yes. So just think of dip and dope. So like dip and dope. Filipino food is dip and dope.
You have a question from Judith. What is the difference between Panera and Lumpia?
They're cousins. Yeah, they're close cousins. As I mentioned earlier, the lumpia is our own wrapper, but the Panera uses wonton wrappers. So the lumpia wrapper is the Filipino innovation. And there you go, you can put some oil. So we're warming some. And the Panera also, when I do Panera, you can make it the sauces. It's the most important. I normally do 3 to 4 sauces. You can take blue cheese, Thousand Island, and use the Panera. So the people is not like surprised or challenged or kind of out of place, because they have their own sauces. But my favorite sauce for this is the one I kind of made my own. It's a mixture of hot sauce and the banana ketchup. The other one I do is ketchup and mayonnaise. Those are the two of my favorite sauce for the panara. My husband likes the vinegar, and other people like, I've seen them kind of extra hot sauce. So it's up to you. Making the panara, you have to make it bland or kind of a little taste, because the sauce is what will carry it. So Cynthia here is and tries to fry. You can do air fryer. It also works, but I don't suggest baking it. Yes, is it on? Is it on? I don't think it's on. It's good. The electric one, yeah, there. Turn the other one on. There you go. There you go. I think move it here. Oh, it's on. It is on, but it's just not hot yet. See, that's a lesson for you guys. Do not put your panara when the oil is not hot. It's just gonna sit there and it's gonna absorb the oil. Put it when it's hot. To test if it's ready, I normally throw in a little starch, or some people put water. I don't do that because it splatters. That's a hint. Or like, what do you call that? Good advice. I tried to put some water the first time and it's just like, I burned myself. For me, it looked like mini empanadas. Just the empanada, you use a dough, like a pancake dough. This one is pre-made. I don't know how to make wonton wrapper. I don't know how to make chow mai wrapper. I do know how to make lumpia wrapper. That you can do this, but I think the gooiness of the wrapper is what makes it pop, and what you put inside. Yes, Panara. It's a Visayan food, like from long time ago, and they use upo. It's like, and panara normally go when you're in the Visayan. They like it with soup, like lomi in panara, pancit in panara. It's like if you have something soupy or bland, the panara is the crunchiness that will add to your food. And I've also made this, and I made a soup out of it. You can boil and do the vegetable bouillon and boil it. So that makes it more healthier. But you have to be careful. You don't want the panara to open up when you're boiling it. So boil the water and add it maybe the last 15 minutes of it. And so you have a wonderful soup, like a wonton soup, but it's a panara soup. And I'm surprised not a lot of people know about it. I think the Visayan kept it a secret. They didn't want to share it to the world. So you just fry it till it becomes brown. Since our ingredients are cooked, you don't have to kind of overcook it. Kind of medium brown, it's ready. And since there's some oil, I normally get a paper towel and to drain. But make sure when you serve it, when I serve it, I normally do coleslaw or cabbage without any sauce and just add vinegar and salt and put the panara on top of it. I've seen people take the panara and put the coleslaw on top of it and eat it. And I guess the crunchiness and the cold coleslaw makes it kind of contrast. And I've tried it and it's something new for me that somebody actually did it. I just put the coleslaw as a decoration and I started eating it. So, you know, like, and I said, how was it? And they said it's just the crunchiness and the saltiness and the grindiness of the coleslaw. It's a good complement with the panara. This is done, okay? So now we can put more different kinds of panara. We'll do with a triangle one. This is my favorite, the upo one, the original. You could put several of them. It's how you arrange it. See, it's triangle. So you kind of want to maximize the space, your time, the oil, kind of arrange it that you cover the whole frying pan. But yet you don't want to crowd it, because the more you put it in, the temperature goes down. So you want to keep that temperature going by just putting enough. And then you see the corner is kind of getting brown. You can flip it. And if it's not done, you can redo it again just to make sure. Not quite done, but it's almost there. It's okay to turn it a couple of times. Someone asked me if you can put raw vegetable here. I don't see why not. You know, like a what they call that, pepino. What do you call pepino in English? Cucumber. You can. I'm pretty sure cucumber and carrots and a little vinegar would be good for panara. I can smell it. Okay.
So when you use coleslaw, do you cook the coleslaw or
No.
is it raw?
Raw. I just noticed when you cook the cabbage coleslaw, the food doesn't last very long. Somehow the interaction of the heat, the coleslaw, spoils the food, spoils the coleslaw. So this is done too. If I've done this for those people that are drinker, I've done this with sisig. The filling is sisig, so it's spicier and so it goes well with the beer, wine, liquor. So basically, you can put anything you want here. Let me know what other ideas you have for, you know, like your favorite food that you could put in here. We'll do the fancy one too. And it's quick. It's like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to prep, 10 to 15 minutes to cook. So we have another 20 minutes to talk and share ideas and ask questions. Kind of suggest to me what else you think will be good for the panara. Oh, I just to share, when I taught this at Contra Costa College, there's a German that made sauerkraut, and I couldn't imagine it, and I did try it. It has a different texture, it's a different flavor profile. So I guess the German can make German panara. And you can also put meat, okay? Don't get me wrong. This is the vegan vegetable, which is the original panara, but you're welcome to put meat. You're welcome to put fish. Normally in Visayan, they put upo and shrimp, which is a good combination profile also. I guess Gina will have nice dinner tonight. Her favorite vegetable. She'll have a nice dinner here. I've seen, if you use the pot sticker, another way to do it is steam water. And when the water dries, the The bottom of the pot sticker, it's kind of gooey and it turns brown too. So you can do that as well. Like how you cook a pot sticker, you can do a panara pot sticker this way also. There you go. Who wants some panara? Come on over at the balay. And if you have leftover like this, get a Ziploc, kind of freeze it not together. Once it's frozen, you can put them all together in a bag. And if you're doing some presentation, you can just you can just kind of spread it around there like that. See, you can kind of squiggle it around.
What would you put in the dessert version of panara?
Oh, dessert version. That's what I love. Actually, we did it today. The ube halea and jackfruit. Oh, it came out so well. The same wrapper, just cook it. I've done, what else did we do? I did a makapuno. I did, the most amazing thing is I did an apple pie. Apple pie panara. It's like you're cooking it with, soften the apple pie, add some cinnamon and cool it down and put it in the panara. Oh, it's amazing. I surprised myself too. And mango and peach is a good combination. Banana pudding is good. Yes, like Jollibee. Jollibee, they made it harder for Jollibee because their dough is not that crunchy. This one, it's just like the gooiness and the crunchiness of the outside.
Very jealous.
Yes, coming over. Yes. I think the recipe is, they posted a recipe and that's just a guide. You can make it your own. And I want to hear what kind of panara you make. It'd be interesting. Adobo panara, you can do that too. Adobo flakes panara. Actually, what do you call that? Cynthia made tuna panara. It's a canned tuna. Yes, and then when you do tuna, you kind of wanna add some celery. Otherwise, it's like just too much fish. This is kind of pregnant panara. That's why I wanna press it down. We have some leftover panaras here. Who wants them? I'll freeze them. Oh, yes. Yes, chickpeas would be good. Yeah. You can also make it Mexican. Put some beans and, right? You can also do I think you can do strawberries and chocolate topping. Nutella might be good too. I haven't tried it yet. Nutella might be good here, but that's not healthy anymore. And if you have veggie and you're not allergic to peanuts, adding peanuts, cashew, give that little extra crunch too. Oh yes, also cheese. Kind of, yeah, cheese. Salmon would be good too. Baked salmon. Any leftover salmon you have, you don't want to eat a cold salmon, stick it in the panara. Oh, just say, yeah, that's true. But all those frozen vegetables, I think cauliflower might be good here too. Because I tried the peas and the carrots. Those came out well too. It's just the seasoning that you have to put in. Now we're done. Isn't that easy? Yes. Yes. Get some sauce, vinegar, or ketchup sauce. Ketchup, banana ketchup. It's called tamis anghang, which is kind of sweet, and anghang is spicy. So dip it. You know, when you go to Vietnamese restaurant, they give you, you have it to go, they have the soup base on the side. If you have frozen panara, that would be good there too. Okay, this is the last two of the panara. Oh, happy Filipino History Month, not heritage, history. See the difference? You can see the little round and the little square. You can even like kind of, some people have folded three ways. Some people have put a, you know, like a mark here with a fork. You can do whatever you like to make it more fun and make it different. And Southern Island, blue cheese, wood dressing. I think the honey mustard is also one of my favorite dressings for this. One tip is if you have the papaya, instead of chopping it, I use this. So it's like it comes and shrinks depending on the size that you like. I like the biggest one, so it has crunchiness, because the little one is it tends to get mushy when you cook it. So this one,
How do you make sure you don't cut yourself?
I normally just if you have gloves, and then when it comes close, I normally what they call that, put a fork, and then you'll hear the fork. Oh, did too much. Yes, this is kind of sharp. But if you have kids, a peeler will also work. So you peel it, and it comes in strings also, and this is safer. And then now you can buy peelers with different shape here too that you can use. We're done. So thank you all. You have to eat. Yes. I like the triangle one. What about you?
Come on. Who wants to taste that?
Who wants to taste that? Oh yes, the picture. Yes.
What about me?
Oh yes. We'll send it over to you. You're at the library, right?
Bring
Come on
it
down.
over.
Yes.
Kirsty and I are very hungry now, I'm sure.
I know. We have some one unfried one, I think would be good. So what filling would you put on yours?
Well, I'm a savory, so I would go savory. I like the idea of cabbage and something savory for me.
Yeah.
Kirsty, what would you put in yours?
Yeah, what would you put in yours, Kirsty?
I don't know. I like squash with delicate
Oh, that's a good idea. The squash would be good. Even butternut squash would be good. You can also do like kind of like I have leftover garlic mashed potato. I put it in the panara, and that also work.
Yes,
Believe it or not.
perfect. Oh my gosh, that sounds
Yes.
so good. Oh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Tita Pearl, thank you so much for sharing all of your great food and your wisdom. And Balai and SOMCAN, thank you so much for being here tonight and supporting all that we do at the library. And let's do this again. Kirsty, thank you so much for assisting, and everybody that was working with you. Great job. And library community, we miss you, we love you, and come visit us soon. All
Yes,
right.
I missed the Filipino History Month at the library. Remember, we used to have that.
Yeah, and you know, the number one question, I'm going to put this in the chat again, is can we watch this again? And yeah, the answer is yes, you can. This is going to be on
okay.
the channel. I'll do a little bit of editing on it tomorrow, but it's up now. You can watch it right now again if you want to be hungry all over again, or you can go watch it and cook at the same time. That sounds fun. And lots of love out there for you, Tita Pearl.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, library. We love you too.
Thank you. All right. Have a good
All right.